inside wing, allow an inch or two at the top, down into the tight into the bottom of the wing, allow an inch or two at the bottom. From the back, allow an inch or two at the back to come around the front, allow an inch or two at the front. Making sure this is nice and straight, just pin into position. Nice and tight. Keeping coming up and over like so. So we've come up and we've pinned over the top. Into the inside back. Fold the fabric back. So we folded that piece back. All we're doing is we're cutting in to the same place as the inside back. So again, I'll show you with the marker just to give you an idea. And in like so. Cutting from below, come up. Again to just 1/4 of an inch. So we matched up here. And now this releases the fabric. Keeping this nice and tight up here, pin that in. And now we just need to pin these two pieces together at the top. Just lose a little bit of the excess fabric. Pin, and then you can snip in to 1/4 of an inch. That then releases the fabric. So we can continue pinning over towards the back. Another little snip. There we are. So now we just need to take off and leave the seam allowance. And just add a notch at the top here. And just check you're happy with the seam size. All nice and correct to the width that you're working to. And now all we need to do is follow the exact shape of the inside back. So you can actually lay the back against there if you like. And just follow the shape all the way down. And I just like to just push in tight down here. Make sure that we're matching up to the same marker down there. So we've come in tight down here. Just double check everything matches up. So we now know the wing fits perfectly down here, matching up to the inside back. We've got the same shape. We're all correct up at the top here. Bottom of the wing. Fold the fabric back nice and tight into the bottom there. The cuts down to 1/4 of an inch. And now pull the fabric tight this way. Don't pull any of the fabric out of here. Make sure that stays in place. But lose the excess fabric. Nice and tight. all the way up. Bottom of the wing, tuck in nice and tight and just draw tight into here like so. So we can now chop. We will add the seam allowance on the cutting table. Just simply follow all the way around. Until you meet the piping on the outside. So you can lose that. So again, all this will be added, the seam allowance will be added on the cutting table. So you can see, just pin that into position. You can see that is now a perfect fit. I'd just like to make a few snips in towards the piping, not all the way in, just in towards the piping. It just relaxes everything and makes it easier to pin. So just put in a few easing cuts. Just up here, it just relaxes the fabric and makes it easy for us to pin to the outside wing. So now we come towards the tucks. Now I know I've done quite a lot of these chairs, so I know that I need three tucks. So what we need to do is find 3 tucks equal distance apart. One tuck there. 2. And that's my 3rd one. So pin them all nice and tight, making sure to lose any excess fabric. Three tucks. So now that's the inside wing complete. We just need to pin the outside wing to the inside wing. So outside wing, leave 1 inch or 2 at the top, down to the bottom, and underneath the wing, leave 1 inch or 2 at the bottom. Fold the inside wing back on itself. Now just pin the wing nice and straight, following the weave so the fabric sat level, anchored into position. We can lose a little bit of the excess fabric just to make the pinning a little bit easier. And now we just want to pin inside wing to the outside wing. Nice and tight, making sure that you pull any excess fabric from the front, pull that nice and tight towards the outside wing. Pin across the top. Nice and tight. Pin up to the first tuck. Tight up to the first tuck. And then from the opposite side of the tuck up to the next one. Again, nice and tight, pulling the excess fabric so you get a nice clean finish. Up to this tuck. From this tuck up to the next. And then from that one So now we've come all the way up. So now we just need to trim off, leaving our seam allowance. Once you've cut that, just check it from the opposite side. Make sure you're happy with the seam size all the way down. And then finally, you just need to put a notch at the top, and then a notch tight up to the tuck, one at the other side of the tuck, tight up. So we've got two notches on either side of the tuck. So when we match these up, this then creates a tuck, so we know we've got the correct place and the correct size. Same with the next one, tight up against, underneath, tight. So we've got notch there and a notch on the opposite side. So again, we'll match these notches. It will create the tuck in the correct place, correct size. On to the next one. Exactly the same, notch there, notch on the opposite side, nice and tight. And finally, just pop a notch down below. So we know when we match the notches up, when we're sewing the wings together, all we're doing is matching the notches, and all our tucks will fall into place in the correct space and the correct size. Just match the notches all the way around.